Hello and welcome to Let Me Bore Your Pain Away. My name's Jason Newland. This is jasonnewland.com. Please only listen when you can safely close your eyes. And make sure you know the cause of your pain before ever listening to a recording or video that may help to reduce that physical discomfort. Make sure you have a diagnosis. Now, this is the second one I've done of this Let Me Bore Your Pain Away. And the idea of it is it's not so much focused, not so focused as a hypnosis session where straight away close your eyes and blah, blah, blah. It's more chatty, but at the same time, changes can occur. So what I thought would be quite nice, and someone actually did request this, is that if we do a little body scan to start with, and then I'll talk to you after that. So it gives us a chance to relax a little bit more than maybe we are currently, if that makes sense. And the more often you listen to me or watch me on YouTube or on my podcasts, the quicker you find yourself relaxing to the point where you press the button, the play button, and you feel more relaxed. To the point where actually just by thinking of me, you feel more relaxed. You may remember something that I've said, something that was really helpful that you can't get out of your head. It's like keeps repeating, not in a bad way, but in a good way. For example, remember to be gentle with yourself. Remember to be kind to yourself because you deserve to be happy. And that might repeat a little bit, like a really spicy curry. It might repeat on you. It's like, oh. Because not everything I find myself, and I've read a lot of books, self-help books on therapy, counseling, psychotherapy, hypnosis, NLP, cognitive therapy, you name it, psychology, and not everything makes sense to me to start with. And some things never make sense to me, if I'm honest. I'm not going to pretend that I understand every single thing that I ever read, because I don't. And I'm not saying, sometimes you get 50 people reading a book and have 50 different things come out of that book, because we take with us, don't we? We take ourselves with us when we read something, or if we watch a movie, we'll add our own emotions and our own kind of projections upon the characters on the movie. Like that person said that, and that's what they're thinking, because that's what I'd be thinking, or that's what I am thinking, even though we don't know, do we? The only person that knows what a character's thinking when they say it is the two people, the actor when they say it, but more importantly, the writer when they wrote those words. What they are the only ones that know what the character's thinking. So, depending on how, some people in a deluded state would have see a completely different movie, or someone who's off their head on drugs or alcohol, or in a really good mood or in a bad mood, or going through bereavement. They're going to experience the movie differently to how they might experience it on a different occasion. So yeah, what was my point though? Let's do a body scan. There was a point to what I was saying there. It seemed to have flown away. So if you can, I'd like you to get yourself comfortable. You can lie down on your bed. I will I will say that if you do lie down in your bed and you listen to me, and it doesn't matter what I'm talking about, the chances are that you'll fall asleep. Now, that might be what you want. That might be something useful, beneficial to you. I can't even listen to myself without falling asleep. That's even if I sit up, I fall asleep if I listen to me. And sometimes I do. I listen to a whole recording just so I can get this is very rare, but occasionally I'll listen to, like, from start to finish, a whole recording so I can get a sense of maybe what it's like to be a listener, someone else listening. Of course, I'm never going to know what it feels like to be someone else listening, which brings us back to what I was saying a few minutes ago. But I always fall asleep, like absolutely always. So if you're lying down, there's a good chance you'll fall asleep. You may wish to sit up in your bed. You may have no choice. That might be the way that you have to sit or sleep due to physical issues or whatever. Or you can sit in a chair, a comfortable chair that supports your body. So just to be aware that you may find that your mind drifts and you may fall asleep. And if that is the case, if you need to be somewhere, if you need to, this might be 11 in the morning and you need to leave the house at 12:30 to catch a bus or train, then I'd say set your alarm to wake you up, just in case you are asleep. You might not fall asleep. You might be so intrigued with what I'm saying and so stimulated by the ideas that may come forth from this session together, that you may you may be completely awake and enjoying the physical changes that may be occurring, because perhaps you hadn't seen things from that direction before, from that perspective, or maybe my voice has a way of relaxing you. It seems to have a way of relaxing other people, and things happen when you relax. Changes occur when you relax. Physiological changes. Now, of course, when you relax deeply enough, then you will fall asleep. Falling asleep is 99% relaxation. And then that last little bit, you just drift off, because every part of you is so relaxed and your mind is so relaxed that it just drifts. It's almost, I find that everything's so relaxing, and you kind of maybe, the image of a boat, of course, if you don't like boats or the sea, you can ignore that. But just the idea of a boat, and then it's everything, there's no wind, there's no anything. And just as you get to that point of being so completely relaxed, the sea's completely calm. And then the wind catches the sails, and that wind is the dream. And you just go off into that dream world. And then when you're asleep, of course, there's lots of healing processes going on. Your body relaxes even deeper. And your mind, although active from a dreaming perspective, your brain sends out those signals, those chemicals to heal your body. Although your body's being healed all the time, the stress relief naturally occurs, but then that occurs when you're awake, when you relax. It can occur naturally, constantly, like all the time. And there's a way of doing that. There's lots of ways to get that feeling where, if you think about a sink or a bathtub, And you know that hole, the overflow hole, which means that the bath never overflows, or the sink never overflows. Provided there's no blockages, it never overflows. As long as you haven't got it on like full, you know. So, because I suppose there's a way, but generally it won't overflow. So you can have that. We all have that built in, but sometimes there's that blockage. So when we relax, when you let go, when you give yourself permission to just take some time for yourself, you start to relax your different body parts, your mind slows down, and that unclogs that hole, which then prevents the bathtub or the sink. So that overflow gets unplugged, completely clear, so the water can go through there and just go away, so it doesn't overflow. In the same way, it does that for your body and your mind, so that the stress doesn't get too much. So it never goes beyond a certain level at any time. When you're awake, you can have that certainty and that stability that comes, and I guess confidence that comes with knowing that actually you will be okay. And no matter how challenging a situation may be, you've got your overflow, which means that once the stress gets above a certain limit, it will start to just flow away. And what you can do in your mind, if you think about it like maybe not a bathtub, maybe just a sink, like a small sink. That hole, that overflow hole, is quite high up. You could lower it if you wanted it to. You could lower that hole so that the level of the tension or stress can only go at a certain height before it flows away. Do you see what I mean? See where I'm going with that? And that's something that you can do in your mind. You could do it now if you wanted, and it's done. Done, 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 done. Done, bang, gone. And I guess having that confidence and security within yourself emotionally, that no matter what happens, you're going to be okay. You're going to feel okay. And no matter what happens, however challenging the situation is, you'll have that level, that overflow, which means that your relaxation will stay at a certain level, because you've got that level of stress, and above that is relaxation. Because what you find, and you don't realize this, is although it's rising up, the tension's rising up, but it only goes as far as the overflow, the relaxation starts to flow in to, it's almost like hot water and cold, just to cool it down, just to make things a little bit easier. And that automatically happens. So that relaxation just spreads amongst the tension, breaking it up, so that it's no longer has the power or the strength that you felt it had before. And you start to feel different, and you start to feel okay, but you're not quite sure why. Like, why am I feeling all right? This happened before and it was a bit of a nightmare. But this time, yeah, the tension started to raise, and then it kind of just went down again. And every time it got to a certain point, which wasn't even uncomfortable, it was mildly, you could feel it, but then you felt okay again. And able to think clearly. And when you like that, when that happens, physically you feel better. So any part of your body that has a physical, any kind of physical discomfort actually has the same mechanism going on. It's all connected. So stress and chronic pain are connected. They are twins. They are physically connected. You can't really have one without the other. You know, if you've got a chronic pain condition, if you don't have any chronic pain conditions, you can have stress without physical pain. Although you will feel it physically. So I don't have chronic pain in the back of my neck, but I feel the stress in the back of my neck sometimes, or in my shoulders. So if you've got a chronic pain condition in a part of your body, then that can cause stress. And then the stress makes that worse, and that makes the stress worse, and that makes it that, it's like a continual thing. Because it's connected. But because you've got that overflow, and it's lowered as well now, so that stress, that tension, mixed in with the chronic pain, okay? It's all one thing. It rises, relaxation's poured in, of course, which starts to break up those feelings, changes those feelings, which may be surprising. And then the overflow, it flows over, gone. So it can never go over a certain limit, a certain line, a certain height, because it just disappears again. Okay, so should we do a body scan? You can just allow that just to sink in. So first of all, I'd like you to close your eyes and focus to start with. And I know that you may have already noticed that your body has relaxed. Your mind has slowed down because you've been focusing on the words that I've been saying. You've been focusing on maybe some of the ideas that I have been presenting to you. And you may feel differently. You may not realize why you feel different, both emotionally and physically. It may seem too strange. How can listening to someone like me, how can that change how you feel? How is that even possible? I mean, the question would be, well, you're listening to this for a reason. You have expectations and you have needs, and you would like certain results, I guess, if at all possible. And then you come back like, well, baby, all you've done is you just chatted about stuff. You've not asked me to do anything, yet I feel different. And you may not understand why, but do you need to understand why? Because sometimes cognitive thinking gets in the way of just allowing natural changes physically and emotionally to occur. So when you get out of your own way and allow those natural processes to kick in or to just, occur, those natural processes that have always been there and always will be there. Because there's something worth remembering is you're on your own side. You're in your own corner. What does that mean? Well, it means that you're there for yourself. You wish the best for yourself. Your mind, your brain, your mind, your body wants to feel okay. Your unconscious mind wants you to be happy and wants you to feel good and relaxed. And given the opportunity, bearing in mind your unconscious mind is listening to you the whole time and takes what you say as a suggestion. So that's something worth remembering. If you think of your unconscious mind like a small child, sitting on a sofa or sitting on the floor watching television, and everything you say to your husband or wife or partner or brother or sister or whatever, mother, everything you say is being listened to by that child. So we affect that child by what we say. It has an emotional effect on the child. On a small child, they develop, their brains are developing and they're taking that stuff in. And they're potentially believing that stuff. And they're developing their personality quite often around what they hear and what they see. Their environment is very important. So in the same way, your unconscious mind is listening to everything that you've actually, not just verbally say, but what you think. So if you think about what you want, your unconscious mind will try to give you what you want. Whether it's an emotional feeling, whether it's a physical feeling, a change, or whether it's an actual lifestyle change, it will try and do what it can to help you to make those changes, to give you what you want. If you present it in a negative way, by saying what you don't want, it will focus on what you don't want. Doesn't seem to have the ability to distinguish between negatives and positives. So it will focus on what you don't want and try to give you what you don't want, because it doesn't realize the difference, which could be similar to a small child that doesn't understand sarcasm or doesn't understand the nuances of language. Is nuances a real word? I think it is. I'm quite pleased with myself on that one, if it is. If it isn't, never mind. So your unconscious mind is listening to you. So when you're saying stuff, whether to someone else, whether you're saying it to yourself, whether you're saying it out loud or internally, your unconscious mind is listening. So what is it you want? Not what you don't want. What is it you want? Because if you keep telling yourself what you don't want, your unconscious mind will try and give that to you, what you don't want. Because as I said, I have to keep explaining it, I guess, but it doesn't understand, because your unconscious mind doesn't work with sarcasm, it works with what you're focusing on, works with, very basic language. So when there's emotion, and the more emotion there is, the more chance you'll get what you want. So if you focus, I want this, I want to feel more relaxed in my lower back. And I want to feel that now. I want to feel that in the future. I want to feel that more of that relaxation in my lower back. That's what I want. I want relaxation in my lower back. And if you imagine having that feeling of relaxation in your lower back, and you get in touch with your emotions about how much you want that to happen, how important it is for you to have that relaxation in your lower back. This is an example, by the way. And then start to expect it. You've asked for it, and now you can expect it because you've given your request. You've ordered it. And then you can just observe that part of your body and notice the changes that naturally happen. So we'll do the body scan. Starting off with, if you close your eyes, focusing on the top of your head, and then just not trying to change how it feels, just being aware of it, just noticing how the top of your head feels. Moving down to your eyelids. Just being aware of the feeling of your eyelids. Moving down across your face, your cheeks, your cheekbones, your ears, your temples, and then all the way down your jawline into your chin, your lips, your mouth, inside your mouth, your tongue, teeth, gums, your throat. Just being aware of those parts of your body, being aware of how relaxed they feel. Your back of your neck, sides of your neck, and the front of your neck. Your shoulders, your right shoulder, your left shoulder. Your arms, tops of your arms, your elbows, your forearms and wrists of both of your arms. Moving into your hands, palms of your hands, the backs of your hands, your fingers, your knuckles, tips of your fingers. And focusing again on the shoulders and moving that focus into the back of your shoulders, in your back, that whole area. And then the area between the back of your neck, your spine, going all the way down into your lower back. And all those muscles, those big muscles, the small muscles, that whole area of your back from top to bottom. Just noticing how your back feels. Just being aware. As you focus now on your chest, so that area moving from your throat to the front of your neck, and then you've got that area from your shoulders, the front of your shoulders, moving down to your chest bone, and that whole area, whether it's muscle, whether it's breast, going down to all the way down to your belly button, your ribs, and your sides. You've got underneath your armpits and all the way down your sides, that area that connects your back and your front. So there's muscles in your back that connect to your front, and then you've got the muscles in your front that connect to your back. For example, breast tissue moves from the chest also into the back. All the way down the sides of you, moving into your hips. Just being aware of that area. Maybe a part of your body that doesn't really get much attention. Focusing now below your belly button, your abdominals. Just focusing that whole area between the bottom of your belly button and your groin. Moving all the way across from side to side. And as you focus on that area, maybe you can notice your lower back at the same time. Just being aware of how you feel. As you now focus on your groin, just being aware of that area. Being aware of the sides of where your groin is, which would be the hips. Moving around to your buttocks. Being aware of your buttocks and how they feel. And also moving and noticing how your anus area feels. Just being aware of levels of comfort and relaxation you can feel in that whole area. The part that probably doesn't really get mentioned too often in relaxation sessions, but nevertheless it's very important. And again, as you just scan the whole of your groin, buttock area, the sides, the bones of your pelvis. As you now focus on your thighs, one of the largest bones and muscles in your body, your thighs moving down to your knees, down to your shins, calf muscles and ankles. Large area, the skin that covers that entire area. Just being aware of how you feel. Moving that focus now into your feet. With our feet, there's lots of different parts that we can actually focus on because we use them so often. There's the backs of the heels. There's the heels themselves. There's the arch. There's a padding underneath your toes, where your toes start. There's the sides of your feet, the tops of your feet. Then you've got your individual toes, your big toe being so important for balance, and all your other toes so much smaller, getting smaller as they go along until you get to your little toe. So tiny compared to your big toe. You've got the different joints in your toes, and of course your toenails. And there's the ends of the toes with all those nerve endings. But those nerve endings have nothing compared to all the nerve endings in the bottoms of your feet. And the more your feet relax, the more your entire body relaxes. That's quite often why when people have a foot massage, they go to a massage place, a health studio, something like that. A foot massage is quite often top of the list because that correlation between your feet and your mind, there's that stimulation of your feet, those nerve endings shooting straight up into your brain, letting your brain know that it's time for healing, time for relaxing, time to let go. And your mind starts to relax as it focuses on your feet and how comfortable your feet feel, how relaxed and peaceful your feet feel now. There's also a connection, a very deep connection between your feet and your hands. So when your feet feel more comfortable, peaceful and relaxed, your hands also mirror those physical, pleasurable sensations, so that your hands also feel more deeply relaxed, calmer, letting go of everything. And again, your mind is connected to your hands. So when your hands are feeling more relaxed, your mind slows down and becomes even more deeply peaceful. As it becomes almost like a triangle of comfort. Your feet, your hands, and your mind. Your hands, your mind, and your feet. Your mind, your feet, and your hands continuously flowing in different directions. It doesn't matter which direction that comfort travels, because it's always going to land and then bounce off to the next place, so that your hands and your feet and your mind are continuously feeling more relaxed. And that relaxation opens up the channels for your brain to send that healing, all that healing energy, all those messages from your brain down your spine to the different parts of your body, to let those parts know that they can relax, they can heal. And the reason your brain knows which parts of your body require that healing and that deep relaxation, and those messages being sent from your brain down your spinal cord to change the way that you physically feel so very quickly, so very easily and naturally occur, because you've already asked your mind and told your mind what you require. You've already told your mind, and if you haven't, and you can do that now, or you can remind yourself by reminding your mind now what part of your body you wish to feel more comfort, more relaxation, more peace. And when you're in the flow, when it's actually occurring, there's no waiting around. It just happens. It just happens. And you can observe those changing occurrences as that part of your body feels different. Really does feel different. And even though on some level you may understand why, you may also not understand how so easily, so naturally, the way that you physically feel changes so easily, so naturally. Changes that maybe an hour ago you wouldn't have believed possible. Just how easily you can feel different emotionally and physically. You can feel more peaceful, more at one with yourself. So very relaxed. You can enjoy these feelings, knowing that from now on, you're aware of how easily you can relax, and know that every time you listen to my voice, you can relax just as deeply and feel just as much physical as well as emotional relief and release. Giving you the opportunity to think about the future and imagine feeling more comfort, more comfortable, more relaxed with each day moving into the future. With more growing possibilities of positivity, options and choices that maybe you never realized were there, opportunities to enjoy the changes that have occurred today as you move forward into the future. Knowing, really believing and understanding that you have made these changes. And you can feel good about that. It's worth celebrating. Feeling so peaceful. So very peaceful. Relaxed. Calm. And loose. So very loose and peaceful. Your mind, your brain and your body, your nervous system, all at peace with one another, working together to heal your body and mind completely. working together just for you and your well-being. Relaxed. So very, very relaxed. Incredible peacefulness. Continuing to spread so calm, letting go, really letting go. As I count from 3 down to 1, you can become 10 times more relaxed with each number. And when I get to 1, you can choose to open your eyes and move on with the rest of your day. You may choose to just continue enjoying this feeling, or you may already or decide to allow yourself to drift off into a deep healing sleep. Whichever you choose, when you do eventually open your eyes, you can enjoy the feelings and the benefits that you've gained from listening to my voice. And you can feel wonderful. Now, 3, 2,